I'm going to take you through the course D2L page as quickly as I can. There's been a lot of questions as to how to navigate the course. I spent a lot of time developing that navigation on the content tab here. And then once you get in this menu, it's on the left side of your screen. But before we do that, let's check out the most important part of this class is staying up to date with the news. That's your responsibility. So if you haven't checked the news and haven't checked the Facebook group page, don't email me. Try to do your job of staying up to date and informed in those places first before you email me. It's just because I have over 110 students and I get a lot of the same emails, and it's usually something that can be seen already on the screen or on the site rather, excuse me. So there's where you want to, as soon as you log in, this is where you'll come to. Then you're going to click on content. And you'll want to start with the course overview here. Let me actually change my view. Okay. So please read over the welcome and invitation to the course and the course overview, just to give you a sense of the topics we're going to cover. And click on Getting Started. This is the textbook for this course. It is required that you purchase this textbook from the bookstore. The purpose of this guide is to help you get started with the completely online course. As a reminder, please purchase this if you have not already. As you may know, taking a completely online class is a lot different than a face-to-face class. For example, we don't meet at a regularly scheduled time every week. Our main line of communication is via discussion boards and social media, and asking the professor questions is incredibly important. The list goes on, so below are some tips for being successful in the online classroom. First, don't be afraid of asking questions. It's my job, and I do it. I work really hard at it to get back and answer your questions. So the more you send, the more help you'll get. So I enjoy helping you and taking you through the course. The first week is always a bit rough, so I appreciate your patience so far. Read the discussions and news. Read them often, each time you log in. Third, learn how to manage your time. You might have the impression that taking an online course takes less time. That's just not the case. Stay current with the assignments. If you fall more than 1 week behind, I may advise you to drop the course. If you fall 3 weeks behind, you'll automatically fail. Okay, that's a pretty standard issue if you've taken online classes here at Minnesota West before. Something I included here was understand your learning style. This could be really valuable to you if you don't know what type of learner you are. And even if you do know, maybe your preferences have changed. So take these questionnaires. These are not graded. This is to help you learn what type of learner you are. Scroll down. About discussions. I've had a lot of questions about discussions, and makes me feel like you guys haven't toured the whole D2L page. Please do that. This course, it's very important that you visit all the tabs. So discussion, what is it? The action or process of talking about something. And I included this definition because a lot of the impression I gather is that discussions are not fun, they're stale, but that's just not the case. Discussion is a place where you exchange your ideas with other students and you learn. Okay, so you learn from each other in the online classroom. It's really important. We don't have a traditional lecture like in a face-to-face class, and when questions are asked in the online discussion, it's a little bit different than when questions are asked in the face-to-face classroom. People benefit from, from 5 questions in a class. the whole class, the whole 30 or 40 students will benefit from those 5 questions. However, in discussion online, unless you visit and read the discussions, no one's going to benefit. So that's why you need to exchange your ideas, you need to visit each other's posts. It's your job to stay connected. It's not mine. Weekly expectations. You're expected to post the discussion forums and comment on your classmates' posts as noted in the assignments. We'll talk about where those are. Okay, the number of discussion items will vary each week. Weekly postings must be in the correct form by the end of the class week. In my class, there's something called priority deadline. That's every week on Friday by 11:59. If you get your posts in, that's the first 5 days of class, you can earn up to the full 5 points for that question. If you don't, then you can only maximum be awarded 3. And the reason I do that is, again, it's discussion. So if you're posting on Saturday or Sunday, right before the next, at the end of the week, no one's going to be able to comment on your post. They're not going to have enough time. Some people work on the weekends, they don't do their homework on the weekends in online classes. So make sure that you, if you want to get full points and you want to give people the chance to comment on your posts, you got to get them in by Friday, or else you're going to get just 3 points, which is about it's a D, I think, if you do the math there. A D for the week. How to write posts. Basically, your posts should clearly reflect your understanding of the material being covered. The best posts cite information from the textbook, pose questions, and encourage further discussion while being virtually free of mechanical and grammatical errors. They also comment, really important, on at least 2 classmates' posts. You have to do that. You can't just post your response to the questions. You have to comment on 2 other classmates' posts. Low-scoring posts, to contrast here, are always those written 2 days before the due date. They are lacking in thoughtful explanations, they're lacking in parenthetical citations, and have frequent mechanical and grammatical errors. They also contain no comments on classmates' posts. So if you follow this part, you have a good idea of how discussions work here. I'll talk about the rubric in a second for the grading of those. But follow this and you'll do well. One last thing here, keep in mind that if you say me too or I agree with Sally or whoever, if it's a 1-sentence response or a comment, I'm just not going to give it full points. It doesn't show that you've attributed any thought. It doesn't add to the discussion, the exchange. You're not exchanging anything. So it just clogs up the discussion boards. I'll delete these, or I won't even grade them. I won't even count them. Okay? So you must show that you communicate to me that you're thinking. Basically, only post something you'd be interested in reading. If you follow that, you'll be good. My grading scheme. Here's the breakdown for you. How I grade posts. I'll grade your discussion forum participation each week as follows. Keep in mind that each question will vary. In design from week to week, questions are worth 5 points, and some weeks you'll have multiple items, so more than one item. I never do more than 2 questions per week, but just understand, within those questions, sometimes there are 3 sort of mini questions, and there's been some confusion to that already. You must answer those 3 mini questions or questions within the actual topic. Okay. 5 points. To earn 5 points, you must have multiple well-thought posts. You must pose questions, encourage discussion, little or no grammar or mechanical errors, post 2 or more comments on classmates' posts that meet the same criteria. Students post at least once in the first 5 days. It's Sunday 11:59 to Friday 11:59 of the class week. The class week is 11:59 Sunday to 11:59 Sunday. 7 days. You must respond to other students in complete sentences and adding to the conversation, not just agreeing. You have to have one thought out post to get 4 points, and you must comment on at least one classmate's post within the first 5 days of class, right there, the priority deadline. And then for 3 points, you show some preparation. You posted though in the last 2 days of the week, Saturday or Sunday at the end of the week. Make sure you use college level academic writing skills. These shouldn't read like text messages. You won't get 3 points if they read like text messages. You'll get 2. Okay? Follow the rubric closely. I won't respond to all your online postings, but I will read them all, just so you know. Okay, something here, netiquette. I'm going to go back up to the navigation. Respectful online communication. If you don't know how to fashion or design your posts, your communication online, you can take this quiz. It's not for any points. You have to have some stuff activated. It must be an old version of Java. I got that to work earlier, but you can navigate around the page and it talks about the core rules of netiquette and other things like that. These are really great things if you're just starting out online classes. So click around there. Again, that's not graded. If you have a Mac, that won't work for you. And then as you can see, my browser didn't want to open that, but I have been able to open it before. So I must be just clicking on something wrong there. Go back to content. So that's the getting started portion. Let's move on to social media. For our class, we have a Facebook group page, and we also will use Twitter at times, so I encourage you to make an anonymous Twitter account so that you can participate in those activities. It's really fun. However, I've had a lot of questions about this, and I've written it all over the place. You are invited but not required, and in bold here, use of social media is not required. What is required though? You are required to check your Minnesota West email once per day and log into the course D2L page a minimum of 3 times per week. And here's a link to that policy. Okay, what you shouldn't post in social media: questionable content, disrespectful comments. If you don't think you should post it, don't post it. What you should post: something interesting you noticed or enjoyed in the assigned reading. Instead of just writing in the margins, go beyond the margins and post to social media. Share your ideas and study with the class via the social media. You can post links to articles, videos, podcasts, any other news or media content relevant to the class, and then appropriate public questions for your classmates or the professor. Please don't send private messages. That can be sort of I wouldn't expect any students to respond if you sent private messages. So let's keep it respectful on the Facebook group page. Here it is, and I haven't had an issue like that yet. Everybody's been using this a lot, which is exciting to me. It's a lot faster, more real-time communication than D2L is. If you want to know about the benefits of social media in college classes, I've included these 2 links here. You can join our Facebook group if you go to this link, or if you click down here. They both take you to the same place, just so you know. And you just select join and I'll add you. Okay, so that's social media. The Spotify playlist. For week 1, all you need to worry about is listening to Hey Joni, the album version. This is track 1. That's all you have to do. Listen to that. And I've had some questions about the listening log. This is not something you turn in. This is something for you to study, because there are, if we scroll down, there are 3 listening quizzes. Okay? The first one is this due date, the second one is this due date, and so on and so forth. You just have to identify what you hear in these quizzes. So the log helps you to do that. And you just want to keep something, the key, what's significant, what are the key features of the music I'm listening to, so that when you hear it on the listening quiz, you'll be able to recognize it. Alright, so I'm just about out of time for this. I'm going to do one more video that will walks you through the go to class feature. So see you in part 2 of the video.